Hi, good evening, and welcome to my daily live session on various tools and methods from my toolkit for execution excellence. And today I would be talking about low cost automation. And before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Dinakar, founder of Samuthana and the inventor of DuHaw, a methodology for changing mindset and culture. So, with that very brief introduction, let me first introduce you to the DuHaw workshop which we are doing on this Sunday. Please do come and join. And it's basically a web workshop for customer service excellence. And to register to the workshop, please log in to visit dinakarmurthy.com and then sign up there. There is a pop-up and there are multiple. Otherwise, you can go to the services and sign it up. And once you have done that, you can meet us and meet me on Sunday for a session on Duha web workshop. With that very brief introduction, let me directly jump into the recap of yesterday's topic, which was about inverted U theory. I spoke about how the workload or the amount of pressure that one would have to deliver and perform is extremely important in ensuring that there is a good motivation and one is in the healthy zone. That means neither should somebody be really bored or should he be very loaded so that he's totally stressed out. You know that neither of this is allowed. So with that premise, I spoke about the importance of target setting, which is basically the key to ensure that everybody is in the healthy zone by setting a target which is realistic at the same time, a little bit stretched so that the pressure factor is already taken care of, so that everybody is in a healthy zone for performing the best that they could do, as you see on this graph. So, with that very brief recap, I'm sure if you have not done that, please go ahead and review your targets. Targets have to be realistic, at the same time very slightly stretched so that one would get motivated to get into the healthy zone to fulfill those targets. So with that very brief introduction, let me get back to today's topic and a brief recap, more than the introduction. Of course, introduction to the inverted U theory and the recap of what I spoke yesterday. Let me get back to today's topic of what I would call as low cost automation. So this is something which I think all of you would have heard somewhere or the other, as to low cost automation as the key for achieving productivity, especially in the Indian industry, and also in the industry in all the developing countries where productivity is a big issue. Low cost automation refers to mainly automating very small elements of any operation through not much amount of investment. It would be more to do with pneumatics. Normally, pneumatics is the very popular uh, place where you could really get into fantastic small movements, small, mainly in manufacturing. This is what I would imagine one would be able to do. And doing so, then we could really get into some kind of a increase in productivity on the one hand. The second is to ensure that the quality also is maintained quite well. And some examples which I can think of in my own life would be the way the components are loaded or unloaded can be automated very simply, by using simple pneumatic cylinders, where you'd have a pick and place setup, and there are good technologies available today from Festo, for example, and all those things can be put in place to create a small pick and place arrangement for making sure that the automation is ensured. Automation means that the process is being conducted automatically, is being done automatically. That is one way of doing it. The other one which I want to talk about is very important, but many a times forgotten in the industry. One is we always try to automate the direct processes. Direct processes would be the ones where the operators are involved in producing a particular component or assembling a particular component, particular set of components to make it into a product. And that's a place where one would look for as far as the low cost automation is concerned. In today's world of technology, I would like to focus on that. In today's world of technology, there is a lot of automation possible in the indirect areas. When I say indirect areas, it could be in terms of sales, it could be in terms of R&D, it could be in terms of operations itself. In operations also, there are a lot of indirect activities going on. For example, the job of a supervisor, the job of a manager in the operations or the production, and the job of a planner in the production. So all these activities can be automated today. which I would also like to consider as low cost automation, because that doesn't really involve a big amount of investment. Today, there are a lot of platforms available. I'm really a fan and really a very fond of what is called as mobile forms. I don't know whether you've heard of that. Mobile forms are kind of a technology platform which is being offered by many various developers, various platform as a service providers. PaaS is what it is called as, wherein you could use that platform to automate something very simple, and it could be as simple as making a form. I remember today's discussion with a customer of ours, where we basically automated a very simple audit form, process audit activity. That entire thing has to be automated, so that there is not much effort involved in going back to the computer and then keying into a Excel sheet and then sending out an email. All that happens naturally and automatically through this automation. It's a very simple tool. It's not very complicated at all. So that is something which also I would like to consider in low cost automation. Apart from, of course, one could talk about Industry 4.0 and all that high tech stuff. But before we get there, there are a lot of places where we could do simple activities which can be automated using these technologies today, which is information technology automation, and more to do with process automation than low cost automation. But I would consider that as a low cost automation because the amount of complexity involved and the amount of ease with which one could do. And all this is done using what is called as a low code platforms. I don't know whether you heard of that word, low code platform, which is something where you can just drag and drop various fields and create a form. What happens in, for example, Google surveys or Microsoft forms. Something similar to that also is available in Zoho forms. Do forms is something which we use with one of our customers for automating the same thing, and automating the same thing in terms of making a report. That's something which is again a manual activity which is being done, and this can be automated at a low cost. Low cost in the sense I'm talking about the expenses which is really not going to pinch you, and that expense is going to give you a huge benefit because of the increase in productivity. Final objective of low cost automation is to increase productivity. Apart from that, there are definitely other areas where one could automate, and for all this it is important to understand the process in a very, very detailed way. And once you understand the process in a detailed way, then one could understand which of those activities are dominated. That's again the key for low cost automation. There's no point in automating something which you are not sure of. It's important that there is certain amount of stability in what is happening, and the operation is extremely repetitive, and there is consistency in the performance, and that is something which is also equally important. I remember a situation where in my early days in Bosch, we tried to automate the loading of a particular component using some kind of a cassette. It was a plastic channel with a particular profile, wherein the components would be loaded, and we tried to load that into the machine. And that would really be very, very difficult because the plastic tolerances those days, I'm talking about 35 years back, it was not very good as it is today. And the second was the problem with the component itself. The component, we didn't have any concept of SPC or whatever it is those days. So the component characteristics were always made to tolerance. That means you had a specification plus and minus tolerances, and within that tolerance it will exist. So as far as the Six Sigma levels are concerned, it must be about 1 sigma, 2 sigma, something like that. But then the components would be sorted out many a times, and that really gave a huge variance, and that variance would give a lot of instability. In such a situation, any low cost automation will really not make any sense at all. So just to sum up again as I end today's live session, first is low cost automation is something which one could do for basically achieving small minor movements in an operation. And to do that, it is important to understand the operation, get into the depth on the manufacturing front, on the technology front, on the hardware front. And this can be done easily using pneumatics, where you use compressed air and then have cylinders and have actuators, have sensors, which can be also integrated in the pneumatic system, which could give you the required movements. And that could be a very simple automation. And I would also extend in the same way automation to the indirect processes, where automation could be achieved today using mobile forms, using the platform for designing the forms, which would collect the data, capture the data, and send out the reports, or even create some kind of analytics from the data which has been captured. That is again another kind of low cost automation is what I would refer to, because of the platform being quite reasonable, quite affordable, and it can be more or less afforded by anyone. It's really the cost is quite insignificant when you look at the overall employee cost or overall the value that you're going to get because of the increase in productivity. So with that, thanks a lot for watching. Low cost automation is something which you need to look at and ensure that the productivity improves. Productivity improving is something which is very, very important because in Indian context, I would imagine the productivity is quite low, very, very low compared to any other part of the world. And we have a huge chance to improve the productivity through such technologies and ideas of low cost automation. With that, thanks a lot for watching. And before I go, I would give you a small peek of what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow job topic would be 100% inspection. This is again a very what should I say, not a very nice topic to talk about, because today with Six Sigma capabilities, inspection may not be necessary at all. However, it is needed in certain cases. I'll explain that. So, and how you go about doing it, and what technologies are there, what kind of options are there, is what I'm going to be talking about. So again, yesterday and today, today and tomorrow has been more to do with the technology, with manufacturing, which is very, very hardcore. And maybe day after tomorrow, I come to something which is more generic in nature. Thanks a lot for watching. For those of you in India, have a nice evening. For those of you outside India, have a great day ahead, and wish you both a very, very happy evening, and all the very best. So let me again get back to you tomorrow evening at 8:30, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow evening at 8:30 Indian Standard Time. Goodbye.